Okay. So this course particularly, as you know, we are looking into Microsoft Fabric. So before we go into Microsoft Fabric as such, we need to understand Azure as a platform, right? Because Fabric is on top of Azure only. So Azure is closely integrated with Fabric, and I believe we have already covered the topic on Azure earlier, but anyways, I'll be giving you a quick summary now as well. So let me just quickly share my screen, and we'll firstly understand what Azure is, and then we'll be jumping onto Fabric and get an overall understanding of the theoretical aspects of it. And we'll also understand how to subscribe to Fabric. So this will be the course for the day. Okay. So let me just quickly start. Okay. So first question, as I told you, what is Microsoft Azure? Okay. I hope you are all able to see the slide,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Okay. So what is Microsoft Azure? So Azure is a cloud computing platform provided by Microsoft. Okay. And it offers three kinds of services: infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. Right. So infrastructure as a service, as in, for example, being a virtual machine, right? And platform as a service where you can install multiple applications on top of it. And software as a service, for example, Microsoft 365 or Power BI for that example. Okay. And then it also provides scalable and secure environment for enterprises. Okay. So, uh, hey, just a quick recollect. So, do you have the slide which I shared with you earlier, the previous classes, the first and second class?
Uh, we need to search on that,
Okay.
Mohit.
No worries. But this is the overall understanding of a quick summary of Azure. So, right now, this is sufficient. But if you want to go into details, you can go into that slide. That's my intention. So this is a overall understanding of what Azure is. Okay. So now let's quickly understand why do we require Microsoft Fabric and what is Microsoft Fabric. Okay. So basically, see, earlier what used to happen is, let's say I'm working on Data Factory. I use Data Factory to ingest the data from multiple sources of data. Okay. So let's say I've got Oracle as a service, SAP as a service, from which I need to extract the data from, which is the source. So I'll be pushing the data from the source to a particular storage on cloud using Data Factory. Okay. Once I get the data into Data Factory, then I might use another service like Synapse or Databricks for making changes to the data. Okay, so right now I've used Data Factory for ingesting the data from the sources and Databricks or Synapse for making changes to the data, which we call as transformation. And finally, we push the data to some other storage or a data warehouse, let's say a SQL database or a warehouse, from which we connect the data to Power BI to generate reports. Okay, so this will be the overall structure where we use multiple tools. Okay, whereas you can see that, let's say there is a machine learning expert which has come into a project recently. In that case, what happens? We need to push the data to a separate location again so that machine learning expert can extract the data from that location and do whatever the machine learning algorithms on top of it. Okay. So in a way, we are expanding the number of tools which we are using, and slowly the project becomes complicated that we'll be ending up with lot many services which we are using, right? So to skip this, we have Microsoft has come up with an experience called as Microsoft Fabric. They call it as an experience because in Microsoft Fabric we have got multiple experiences like Azure Data Factory, Azure Synapse, Power BI, all embedded in one single location called as Fabric. Okay. So that is the reason Fabric is a unified data platform which brings together different data professionals on a single platform. So a data engineer, a data scientist, or a data analyst, or a business intelligent expert, everyone can log into the same single storage on Fabric and extract and perform whatever the task which they have to perform. And it supports end-to-end data lifecycle management. So as I told you in the previous example, data factory is used for extracting the data from multiple sources, right? So here Fabric can be used for that. And also Fabric can be used for doing transformations to the data. And also Fabric also has data warehouse on which we can store the data. So here the storage will be something called as one lake, which we'll be discussing in the further slides. Okay. So here, with the help of this, we are reducing the complexity by integrating multiple data experiences. Okay. So this is a overall understanding of what Fabric is. Do you have any questions on this?
On
So
question. Go ahead.
in Fabric, we are not using the services, right?
Services in the sense?
Like ADF, like if you go to the ADF, we have a multiple services, right? For each data things, we used to create a one linked service, something, right? But here it's, do we have the same thing? Or-
Yes, it is pretty much similar.
Okay.
The one advantage we have is, see, we have to create data factory as a resource. We used to create data bricks as a separate resource, all those things, right? Here we don't have to do that. In Fabric, it's a single location.
Okay.
Yes, I believe others also have a question.
Yeah, Mohit. So thing is that you told that ADF, Azure Data Factory, and this Data Fabric are both are interlinked or interrelated. Can you say that?
I would say both are independent, and I would say data factory will become a subset of Fabric. We can put it that way.
Okay, okay. So Fabric lies on the top, right? So
Yes, correct.
on below it, you'll have it ADF. And one more thing, you said that Data Fabric is a combination of three things. One is ADF, two more things you told me. What?
Synapse, Power BI, or
Okay.
Databricks.
Okay. So in order to learn, I mean to say that, or well acquainted with data fabric, do we need to learn all the three things or how it is?
Okay, so there's a slight confusion here. So my intention of telling is that, so here in Fabric we have got all the features of Data Factory, Synapse, and Power BI embedded in one single place. Okay, so the advantage if you know already those things is that you already have a heads up in this Fabric. But this course is particularly for those who don't have any idea about any other service. So he'll purely focus on Fabric. So here he'll be covering everything from scratch.
Yeah. And last question is that you told that Power BI. Power BI is a reporting tool, if I'm not wrong, right?
Correct.
So for this Azure Data Factory or Data Fabric Engineer, so is it only Power BI being used or any other reporting tools like Cognos is there, Business Objects is there, likewise?
We can use multiple tools, but since it's Power BI is a Microsoft developed reporting tool, so
Oh,
most of the projects directly use Power BI because it can be easily integrated.
that makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Any other questions? No. Okay. So let me just move on. So now, what are the experiences which are present in Fabric? So as I told you, Fabric is a combination of multiple experiences, right? And here we'll understand what are all the experiences present. So first is data warehousing. So data warehousing is a component of Microsoft Fabric. Okay. Then next is data engineering. Data engineering is the role we'll be focusing on more. So this is also a component of Fabric. Data engineering in a sense, all the transformation operations which you do. Okay. And there is something called as real-time analytics, which generally works on streaming data. If you have got huge volumes of data coming continuously, then you will go up with real-time analytics and you can perform analysis on top of the data right when the data comes in from the source. And then you have got Power BI and business intelligence tools. And then you have got Data Factory, which is embedded here for data integration purpose. And you have got data science and machine learning. So all these experiences together combined will be present in the Fabric. Okay. So let me move on to the next slide. So here, now in this course, what we'll be focusing on more is we'll be focusing on strong theoretical foundation firstly. So we'll be covering most of the theoretical part initially for the first week. And parallelly, we'll also focus on hands-on walkthroughs and demos of all the theoretical concepts which we'll be covering on a day-to-day basis. Okay. And after covering both of this, after the first week, we'll be focusing on end-to-end project-based learning. Okay, so this will be the sequence. So the very first week, we'll be focusing mostly on theoretical foundation and walkthroughs and demos of particular topics. And after that, after the first week is done, we'll be immediately jumping onto the project-based learning. Okay. So now just to summarize what Azure is. So Azure is a end-to-end analytics and data platform. So as I mentioned here, it is an analytics and data platform. So analytics in a sense, we can also analyze the data using Power BI or other business intelligence tools present on Fabric. And it is also a data platform in a sense that we can ingest the data from the sources, transform the data, and push it into one lake or a storage. And it is designed for enterprises requiring a unified analytical solution. So as I told you earlier, it was a havoc that we used to use lot many services on Azure platform to complete one single project. So rather than that, now we can directly use Fabric, which has all the experiences present in there. And it combines multiple analytic workloads into one single experience. Okay. And next, the capabilities of Fabric includes data ingestion and data movement, data processing and transformation, analytics and reporting, and seamless integration with Power BI. So the statements are pretty much straightforward, so I'm not mentioning it in detail. And next, before Fabric, what used to happen, as I told you, organizations used to rely on multiple tools, separate services for ingestion, processing, analytics, and reporting, and it requires higher operational integration complexity. So sometimes we used to face challenges with the integration as well. Okay. And now Fabric has come up so that all these disadvantages can be overcome. Now there is one single concept which I wanted to cover, which is one lake. So one lake, which is the foundation of Fabric. So one lake you can consider it to be like a storage on Fabric. Okay. Earlier in Azure, while we worked, we used to create storages like blob storage and data lake storage. If you recollect from the previous class. But in Fabric, we'll be focusing on one lake. Now, what is one lake? One lake is a unified data lake for Microsoft Fabric, and it is built on top of Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2. So, Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2 is a foundation on top of which one lake is a storage which is built. It uses Delta and Parquet formats by default. So, whenever you store some data in one lake, it will be stored in Delta and Parquet formats by default. Okay. And it provides a single source of truth for all. So what does it mean is this particular storage can be used by data analysts, data engineers, or business intelligence experts, all look pointing out to the same single storage. Okay. So this is about one lake. Now moving on to Fabric, there is a see earlier what used to happen is in data factory, let's say I'm processing data. When I perform, let's say I want to perform a transformation like changing the names of the columns to uppercase. In that case, what used to happen is at backend, there used to be something called as integration runtime, which used to provide the processors to process or perform that particular task of converting the columns to uppercase. In Fabric, we call that as capacity. So capacity represents the compute resource in Fabric. Okay. So capacity size determines the amount of computation available, and it is used to run workloads across analytical experiences. Okay. So here the processor is nothing but capacity. So we call it as capacity in Fabric. Okay. And I skipped mentioning one point here. Capacity is measured by, let me write it down. Capacity is measured by stock keeping units or SKUs in short, which we call. So SKUs determine the number of computation or amount of computation available. So let's say I've got 10 processors, I'll have more SKUs. If I have got one processor, I will have less SKUs. So it determines the amount of computation power available for processing the data. Okay. So do you have any doubts up till now? Whatever we covered up till now? Anyone?
You said capacity, right? Capacity is a component of data fabric. Is it?
Yes. So capacity, it simply is a index to measure the computation resource. So it represents the computation power which is available.
Likewise, a transformation in Informatica, we can say like that.
See, okay. See, the thing is like this. It is similar to, uh, how do I put it? Okay. Now let's say I've got a system or a laptop which I'm using right now with four processors. Okay. So capacity is four in a sense. So in Fabric, the processor capacity is nothing but the processor computation power available. Am I making sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Any other those questions?
Uh, can you go to the previous slide once? Just like
You mean this one?
no, the next one, I think.
One lake?
Oh.
Mhm.
So here, 1 lakh means like the storage we are going to define for each project. Huh? Like how
Yes.
data stores
So,
in the 1 lakh, like it's same as ADF files. Like
it's similar to ADF, but it's not for each project. Let's say each resource group.
okay.
So multiple projects can point to the single one lake storage.
Okay. So they used to call right like bronze layer and like silver, gold or like right like so
Mhm.
these terminologies we are going to build it in 1 lakh or like is like as a folder structures or like is a in a predefined layers already available in the 1 lakh. Just
We will have a
or-
folder like structure similar to
okay.
bronze, silver, and gold in one lake.
Okay. We need to define it for each
We
one.
need to define it. Yes. Yes. So, yes. So this is pretty much about Microsoft Fabric and one lake in general.
Okay.
Okay. So now we'll have a look at how to install Fabric on your system. Okay. Or your cloud service. So I need one of your help so that you can start sharing your screen and I can show you how to install and others can replicate the same. So who would like to do that? I'll just give them the host.
I can do that.
Ram? Okay.
I'm still not able to share.
Yeah, just give me a minute. Okay, Ram, you can start sharing now.
I hope you're able to see the screen.
Yes. Okay. So now what I want you to do is log into Azure portal, portal.azure.com.
Account should be new, right?
You can, if you are able to access the earlier account, you can continue with that. I believe last time we have created one account, right?
Mm.
Create one.
You don't have an account earlier, Ram?
But that was going to expire, right? 1 month got over, right?
We didn't create a paid as you go subscription, is it?
Yes. So we use the trial versions.
Okay. Yeah. Then quickly create one account. Okay. Does anyone already have an account set up active now?
No.
No? Okay.
Then give my this thing what normal Gmail, personal Gmail account, right?
Right, right. The Gmail which you haven't used earlier for trial.
I already have an account, it's saying.
Okay, I think it will take some time for you. Okay, let me do one thing, or else let me try to open an incognito and I'll try creating a new one. Okay, and I'll show it to you. So you guys need to create a separate account then. Okay, so a free trial account which you can create, please create once.
So now it is throwing error. In that case, do we need to have a new email ID or
A
organization?
new email ID which you need to use. Tell me one, so didn't we use a college email ID last time?
There's a
That is also haven't hasn't accepted at that point of time. That I have taken my mean to
Okay.
say the brother's kid email
Mm-hmm.
ID who's working in Dastra. So at that point of time also it hasn't mean to say it hasn't worked for us.
Okay, so you guys used a monthly free trial account for 30 days.
yes,
That's
yes.
right.
Okay. Okay, so in that case, so I would suggest you create a new account with a free trial. Meanwhile, I'll just quickly show you how to set up Fabric for now. Okay, so let me just share the screen again. Okay, so what I'll do is I've got Fabric logged in, but let me just sign out from here.
If you create this free account, will it be expired after some time or?
Yeah, it will be valid for 60 days. The
Okay.
Fabric free account. We'll get a trial account, which will be available for 60 days. Okay, let me.
So we create a Azure free account that's not applicable for Fabric. Like, uh, then we
No,
cannot create a free account with the same mail. Huh?
not with the same mail because Fabric only allows free trial with a organization email, and not with personal email. So I'll show you a way out of this. So what you have to do for getting an organization email is something I'll show you, so that you can use that to get the free trial account for 60 days.
Suppose that after 50, 60 days, what is our thing? If you need to practice means, do we need to purchase it or
Yeah, after 60 days, we need to purchase it if you want to practice. I mean, purchase in the sense a subscription model.
how much it will cost?
It depends on the usage you use. See, generally for me, the billing on an average is around 3,000
Okay. 3,000 per?
month per month.
Okay.
Okay, so generally log into your Azure portal with your email ID, which you'll create now after the session. So once you do that, what you do is here you search for Fabric. See, basically it says sign up for a free trial. And here you can see that my email ID is ending up with Gmail, right? So if I say sign up for a free trial, and if I use another, and if I use this, see it says you can't sign in here with a personal account, use your work or school account instead. So for Fabric, we can't use a personal account. So what you have to do is you go into users. Okay, and let's create a new user here. So click on create new user. And let's say I'll say Fabric demo user. And I'll just give the same name. And I need to copy the password. Let me just save it somewhere. Okay, let me just put this here. And now let me just click on review plus create. This will be the email ID. So you can see that now I'm ending up with on Microsoft.com. So if you get this, then this will it's an organization email. Okay. So firstly, we'll create this user. So that is the reason we are creating this user so that we'll have this organization email coming up. So if I say this, so I've got this graphic demo user. I've got the principal ID. So now what I'll do once I have this user, I'll just click on this and I'll assign roles. Add assignment. So here, let me use global administrator role here. So I can manage all aspects of Entra ID and services. And I'll click on. So Here I'm using global administrator. Okay, I hope you all are able to see, and I'll click on OK. So now this role has been successfully added to this particular user. Okay, global administrator. Now what you have to do, the second step is you also have to go into the subscription level and go into your subscription and go into access control. So in access control, here go to add role assignment. And I'll go to privilege administrator role, give owner as a role, click on next. Here and select members, I'll select the fabric demo user and click on select. And click on next. Here, just select allow users to assign all roles and click on next and review plus assign. Okay, so now we have done with both of these steps. Now what you can do is, now you can go into just signing out of this. Because I need to use a business ID to go into Power BI. So I'll say use another account and I'll just paste the email ID which I've created earlier, which is the demo user as you can see here. And I'll click on next. And in the password, where is it? Okay, I'll copy this password and I'll paste it here. It'll ask you to change the password. Where's the password? I'll change it. Sign in. So now it asks us to set up a Microsoft Authenticator. So you need to install Authenticator app and then you have to sign in. Okay. So you have to download the app on from your Play Store or iOS App Store and then use that application for authentication purpose. So it will give you a QR code now with which we have to sign in. So here you can see I've got a Microsoft Authenticator which I need to use. And right now I don't want to, but you can directly click on this. I don't see an option though. Click on next. Set up your account in app. Okay. Click on next. Now just scan this QR code. Once you get this QR code from your Microsoft Authenticator app. Just give me a minute. Let me just scan this. Okay, now this is done. So I'll click on next. So it's asking me to mention the number on my mobile application. I'm doing that. So it is approved now. So now it is authenticated successfully. Now I'll click on done. Okay, now we have logged in with a business email ID. Okay, so once you are done with that, now go into Fabric. So search for Microsoft Fabric and here you can see sign up for a free trial. Okay, so you just need to click on this. It will authenticate. So you just need to sign in here. Okay. So I think it's taking some time, but in general, once you are done with this step, you will be having the authentication done. And let me show you how the page will be. So once you're done with that, once you're done with this step, since I already have a trial account, that might be one reason it's not coming up. It's taking time. So I'll just sign out from this. So let me try and log in from here. Let me just authenticate. Go into Fabric. So sign up for a trial. So here it is. So this is my Fabric account. So once you sign in, this is how the interface will be, where you can see the home, which is the home page, which you can see here. So here you can see I've got ingesting data into Fabric, building a lake house, which is built on one lake storage, which I told you, or build a warehouse. So everything you can learn from here as well. You can click on this, you'll get a documentation as well. And the very first step which we'll be doing is we'll be clicking on here and creating a new workspace for us. And then you can also see at multiple tabs like data analytics, data analysis using SQL, the medallion architecture, which is nothing but a bronze, silver, and gold architecture. And what else? We also have a Lambda architecture here, which is a different kind of architecture available. Machine learning models, which if you want to use. So all those you can do it with a simple click of a button. And also we have got tabs like workspaces. So once you set up a new workspace, you can simply click on this new workspace button here. You'll be able to set up a new workspace. And then you also have Copilot if you want to use that. And OneLake catalog. As I told you, OneLake is a storage which you have to use in Fabric. So here you will be able to see once you set up the OneLake storage with all the files, you will be able to extract from here. Okay. And after this, you also have monitor tab. So monitor is generally used to monitor whatever the pipelines which you are running to process the data. So you can see the status of them here, similar to data factory. And you have got real-time analytics as well here. So real time is where you can take the data from multiple sources, push the data. Azure events is that whenever, let's say, I want to process the data, only when the latest file is coming up and you get an email. So once you get an email, trigger will be automatically triggered based on the email which you receive and the data will be processed. And then you have also got workloads. So in workloads, you can see that if I want to migrate to Fabric, I can simply add this and process. Likewise, you have got multiple tabs which you can use to process different sources of data. Okay. And finally, you have got your workspace details here. So right now there is a new account which you have created. So everything is blank. So starting tomorrow, once you set up your account, we'll be working on this platform. So here you can see on the top, the trial is activated and 59 days are left. Okay. So this pretty much about this. And here you can see on the bottom, uh, as Fabric as a tab, you can directly switch from Fabric to Power BI here by clicking on this. This will be the interface of Power BI, where you will be able to see the JC or generate reports in a visual manner. Okay, so you can jump directly from Power BI to Fabric here. You don't have to create a separate connector or a separate service of Power BI subscribing to it, nothing like that. Directly you can use it from here. Okay, so this is pretty much it. Do you have any queries regarding this? It's just an interface which I am showing now.
Okay. So will you share this video, right? Like, so we can check and download, like we can do the account.
Yes, I'll be sharing this recording to you all. You can have a look at that and replicate the same. But yes, for the first step will be for you to create an Azure account, free trial account. So that is something you know how to create. So just create one account, and then the second step will be this: creating a user and then creating a Fabric user and logging in. Okay?
Typically, this will last for 60 days. And if it is student account, it will more than that.
No, it's 60 days
No?
only.
In 60 days.
Here, as I told you, Fabric is will not allow any personal user. It allows only business users to log in.
Okay.
So you need to have a domain ending up with on Microsoft.com or your business, your company domain, something like that. Okay?
So you have two options like lake house and warehouse. So difference between those two?
See, warehouse is, let's say, for example, warehouse like a SQL database. Everything will be stored in a tabular format in a structured data, right? The data will be structured format, like neatly arranged columns and rows, and the data will be stored in tabular formats, right, in a data warehouse. Whereas in data lakehouse architecture, it allows structured, semi-structured, unstructured, all the three kinds of data to be stored, and we can store the data in a delta format. So all the data lakehouse architecture will have the file saved in a delta format.
Okay.
The key advantage we have with delta lakehouse or data lakehouse architecture is you'll have something called as version control. So you can move back to previous versions of your data as well. And the second biggest advantage we have is something called as asset transactions of delta format. So this is something we'll be discussing in detail later on. But for now, you can understand that data lakehouse stores three different types of data: structured, semi-structured, unstructured. Whereas data warehouse only stores structured data. And in data lakehouse, the data will be stored in delta format.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So delta is in hierarchical manner.
Okay. See, delta format is something which is different. So basically, if you recollect, Parquet is a format which is used to store the data in a columnar format. Okay. You are talking about hierarchical format. Hierarchical format is related to storage account. Okay. So Delta Lake storage or One Lake storage, everything is hierarchical only. Okay. So I'm talking about format. So hierarchical is nothing but the folder structure, right?
Okay.
Whereas the file format will be Delta format. So let's say I've got multiple folders. Let's say of today's date, 23rd, 22nd, 21st, like that, so on. I've got folders, and inside that, each of the files will be in Delta format.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So as part of data fabric, we'll be using all these things like inserting the data into fabric, build lake house and build warehouse also.
Yes, correct. We'll be doing all this.
So if you do from right from all the four steps are there, if you do from all the four steps, then the fabrication is completed. Can we take in that manner?
That's correct. If all the steps are done, then the fabrication is done.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Can we do that? Like I have a code in the AD, like Azure Data Factory. The
Mhm.
same code, can I import into the Fabric or can I migrate into the Fabric directly?
You can migrate, but there are some tweaks which we need to do. So minor tweaks only. So if you can do the minor tweaks, then yes.
That's it's a export and import, huh? Like or
Huh. Correct. So in Data Factory, we have got a JSON format of code for any pipeline which you build. Okay. You can just copy the code and you can copy the code and paste it here directly. That will also do that. Or you can download the pipeline JSON file from the Data Factory and import it here as well.
okay.
Okay, so today I see Tejasvi to be very silent. Tejasvi, are you able to follow this? If you're speaking, you're on mute.
It's typing actually.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Maybe. And like in this course, are we going to learn how to use the Notepad, PySpark, all the things, or like?
Yes, certainly. We'll be able to understand all the notebooks in Fabric. But okay, Mike is not. But the thing is that see, Databricks, which was our initial discussion, Databricks or Synapse, the coding is a bit different compared to Fabric. Okay, it's not exactly the same one, but it's a bit different. So, but we'll be certainly covering those aspects here.
Okay. So possible, maybe can you tell us like REST API callings and other things also we can do, or like
REST APIs, I can add it up. I can add them and I can tease them in one of the projects. That is something I can do.
okay.
Okay,
And
so
you said one last question. Power BI, you told us a reporting tool, right? So, what is the back end of that? Is it SQL, Oracle, or some other thing programming
so you mean
in
to
order
say,
to
I mean,
generate
what do you
report?
mean by backend?
For business objects, we are using SQL as a backend to generate the reports and the querying the results of that report and everything. So, for Power BI, what is being
Yeah,
used?
it will be SQL only. So with
Oh,
SQL, we'll be querying it. Yes.
sure.
Okay. Any other questions?
No,
No.
we
Okay. In that case, what I'll do is after this session ends, I'll be sharing the recording with you as well as a slide. So you can go through that. Uh, do create an account for today and set up the fabric. Tomorrow, we'll quickly start with a bit of theory of other components and we'll immediately start with demo of those concepts.
okay.
Okay. Perfect then. But if you're stuck somewhere creating a fabric account, do ping me up and I'll try to connect with you. Okay.
Sure. Okay.
Okay then. Thank you all for your time. You guys have a great day. I'll see you all.
You too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You have a great